Monster Melee! Orcs versus Hobgoblins.
When Orcish brutality meets Hobgoblin military training, how will the clash turn out? Welcome to Monster Melee, everybody, where D&D creatures are pitted against each other in a savage struggle for survival. I am your game master and commentator, Esper. I'm glad to have you with me here. In today's matchup, we have 5 orcs plus their orc war chief versus 6 hobgoblins plus their hobgoblin captain. These creatures are all out of the 5th edition monster manual. The 5 orcs are just the regular orcs that are in there, and then the 6 hobgoblins as well are just the basic regular hobgoblin. I'm giving the hobgoblins 1 more to their number because the orcs leader is a little bit stronger than the hobgoblins leader. For today's battle arena, we have the Rocky Pass. This is actually part of Map Pack 3. It's a collection of 16 maps, which I recently put together. It is available on my website, esperthebard.com. The link is down in the video description. And I've been meaning to say this. I get this question a lot in terms of what VTT I'm using. This is Foundry VTT that I'm creating these Monster Manual battles on. So let's get in here and take a closer look at today's competitors. Okay, so we've got these 5 orcs, just basic grunt orc warriors. They're medium humanoids with the orc subtype or orc tag. They are chaotic evil and alignment, challenge rating of 1/2. Their armor class is 13. Their hit points are 15, and their speed is a standard 30 feet. For strength, I would say they have a pretty good strength score and constitution score. They also have a really cool feature called aggressive, which lets them dash as a bonus action, so move up to their speed again as just a bonus action, as long as they are moving closer toward an enemy. Really great feature for mobility. Weaknesses, they are low intelligence, they're orcs. They also have a low AC and hit points. They are CR just 1/2 after all. And for their leader, we have Goism Hag's Head. He has apparently slain a hag at some point in the past and got this title. Again, I'm using the Orc War Chief stat block here. Medium humanoid, orc subtype, chaotic evil alignment. The challenge rating here is 4, so quite a difference from a basic orc. Armor class is 16, has a bit better armor. Hit points of 93, which is really much higher than anyone else in this fight. Standard speed of 30 feet. For strengths, again, has a good con and strength score, also a good charisma score in this case. That same aggressive trait also has a pretty cool feature called Grumpsh's Fury, and whenever he hits with a weapon attack, deals an extra 1d8 damage, so that's a pretty good damage boost, and has a once per day feature called Battle Cry, which basically gives advantage to his whole squad for a round, and then after he does the battle cry, can make just 1 weapon attack as a bonus action. The only real weakness that I think is worth mentioning within this context is that the Orc War Chief is less effective at range. The Orcs in general really are melee oriented. Their javelin attacks are decent, but they really excel in melee, hitting with those powerful great axes. All right, now we're moving on over to the Hobgoblins. The basic Hobgoblin warriors are also medium humanoids, have the Goblinoid subtype, lawful evil and alignment. They are much more disciplined, regimented, ordered, also a challenge rating of 1/2. Their armor class is 18 due to chainmail and a shield, though if they're not using the shield and they're instead equipped with a longbow, it's going to be an AC of 16, going down 2 points from not having the shield. Hit points only 11, standard speed of 30 feet. For strength, they have a good AC. That's one of their main upsides, and they have this really cool feature called Martial Advantage. When a hobgoblin hits an enemy and that enemy is next to one of the other hobgoblins, it deals an additional 2d6 damage, which is a pretty big bump in damage. This does assume, though, that the hobgoblin's ally is not incapacitated, so they're like working together with some kind of tactic. In terms of weaknesses, the hobgoblins have low hit points and sort of a low to mediocre ability scores. And then we have here Dolvadruk, the hobgoblin's captain, which again is taken out of the monster manual. This is medium humanoid, goblinoid subtype, lawful evil, all that's the same. Challenge rating of 3, has an AC of 17, max hit points of 39, so less than half what the Orcs leader has. Standard speed of 30 feet. For strengths, has a decently good AC, is wearing half plate armor, has that same martial advantage feature, except it's 3d6 extra damage instead of 2d6. Then he has a pretty cool feature called leadership. The effect of it is sort of like the bless spell. It takes an action to activate it, and it lasts for a minute or until he's incapacitated. And whenever one of his allies that he can see makes an attack roll or a saving throw, they can add a 1d4 worth of bonus into that. So potentially he's going to cause some additional hits. I don't know if saving throws are really going to come into play in this battle. Weaknesses wise, the Hobgoblin Captain does have sort of low HP for his challenge rating. Has limited effectiveness at a range, and again, just sort of has these mediocre ability scores. I'm pretty excited to see how this one turns out. Let's get the initiative rolling. Bunch of d20s hit the table there. Looks like Goizum Hagshead, the Orc War Chief, is going to be first. These two Hobgoblins in the back here are ones that are equipped with longbows, so I've go ahead and marked them with these little icons, and then these other four have their long swords and their shields. So I think the Orcs' plan is just to rush in there and slaughter as quickly as possible. I think Goizum's going to use that battle cry on the second round. Let's begin this. And Goizum runs in there, uses aggressive to dash and get a wonderful 60 feet all just right away. And he's got a multi-attack, so he's hoping to chop down two Hobgoblins right off the bat. All right, attacking Hobgoblin number 2 is what that looks like. And, only comes up with a 10 to hit. His battle axe is thwarted by the shield of the Hobgoblin, and second attack of the multi-attack comes in. That is certainly a hit. And he chops right on through. Rolled pretty low, only scoring 8 damage. So the Hobgoblin is still in it. Dulvadruk is next. We've got the 2 leaders starting off the initiative. Pretty cool there. And he utters his leadership tactics. So he's going to go ahead and activate that mode or that feature. Looks like both the leadership feature of the Hobgoblin Captain and the battle cry feature of the Orc War Chief affect allies within 30 feet, which is perfectly fine in this case. Dulvadruk, in a show of bravery and leadership, steps right up face to face against Goizum Hagshead. Right, we go now to Hobgoblin 3, and he'll take a step there and go ahead and attack with his longsword. Swings the blade. There's a hit. It's a one-handed longsword. Going to be a d8 plus, I think, just 1 strength and 2d6 of martial advantage. All right, the Hobgoblin's blade bites the orc. Also rolled a bit low. Just got 7 damage. Wow. Goizum is merely nicked. We go to one of the Hobgoblins now with a longbow equipped. He looks to see if it would be worth trying to climb up here. It's quite a bit of a climb. These are pretty high rocks. I'm going to say the DC is just like a standard 15. The martial advantage feature for the Hobgoblins works with either melee or ranged, so he's got quite a bit of incentive to attack that war chief. I think he'll go over here, take a bit of cover from this boulder, and fire the longbow. The arrow flies out. The 15 to hit normally would be just 1 under. Normally it would be repelled by the chainmail, but the leadership ability is active. Dulvadruk is shouting out tactics and giving leadership commands. So there's actually an extra d4 on that. And no matter what he rolls in the d4, it's going to bump it up to a hit. So let's go ahead and roll some damage. Longbow damage plus the martial advantage. Not a terrible roll. 12 damage to the Orcish War Chief. Next on to the other of the longbowmen of the Hobgoblins. And he will take his shot. Should just have the leadership added in this time. There it is, and another hit. The Orc War Chief has quite a bit of hit points, but this martial advantage is going to make quick work of that. Extra 2d6 is quite substantial. Goizum has already lost 30 hit points. He is down to 63. We go now to Orc number 2. He's over here, going to do a bit of moving. I don't know if the 60 foot with like that bonus action dash is going to be quite enough. No, it's not. So I think he's going to be throwing a javelin. We'll move to there. He'll throw a javelin. Let's just go with this Hobgoblin right there. He chucks the short spear, and that certainly will strike the Hobgoblin. This one that's already wounded. This might be a kill no matter what. 6 damage. That will take down the Hobgoblin for sure. The spear stabs through a weak point in the Hobgoblin's defenses. We are on now to Orc number 1, which will probably follow suit with that tactic. There was 35 feet. Let's go ahead and do this. They want to stay close to the war chief. He'll throw a javelin at this hobgoblin number 3. There's a hit, and he deals 8 damage. Pretty substantial to a hobgoblin's mere 11 max hit points. All right, on to Orc 5. He grunts and shouts his bloodthirsty and savage shout. He'll go there and chuck at that wounded hobgoblin, see if they can pick one off. 15's not going to quite do it. The spear is deflected off of the hobgoblin's shield. We are now at hobgoblin 4, who is going to step in here to the side of his commander and make an attack against... Are they trying to take down this leader first? I think they're trying to take down the leader first. Point of honor, perhaps? Maybe it's a tactic. Usually it's good to take down weak ones first, but I think there's something particularly dangerous about Goizem Hagshead. They're trying to get rid of him quickly. By the way, I have had a couple people asking about flanking in some comments. So when I'm GMing D&D, I typically give a +2 bonus to hit for flanking. I have not been including that in these because I haven't really been doing any house rules, but I am considering doing that. If you guys think that's a cool idea, if you'd like me to add in that house rule, let me know in a comment, and I'd be happy to add it in. I do think it's a cool tactic. All right, Hobgoblin 4 is going to attack, has that extra D4 from the leadership. 15 is just one under. His blade sparks off of the chainmail of the Orc's war chief. And to Hobgoblin number 1, who will step to there and attack at the Orc's leader as well. 18 is going to do it, and here comes the Hobgoblin damage. Okay, there was 5 off just the longsword, and then Snake Eyes. They're not rolling so great, so 7 total. We now turn to Orc 3, who will probably be running and throwing a javelin of its own. Oh no, he can actually get into melee with a great axe attack. Here we go. He hefts his mighty axe, though does not strike the target. And Orc 4 is still back there? Yep, okay. It shall jog mightily to there and throw a javelin at this wounded hobgoblin number 3. 18 will do it, of course, and I think this is going to take down the hobgoblin. 7 damage will do it. Those hobgoblins just don't have a lot of hit points, so they are already down 2 of their number. The Hobgoblin Company is already down 2. That does not bode well. And we go now to round 2, starting with Goizem Hagshead, who will use the battle cry. Hoists his great axe up high. The Orcs are now filled with a bloodlust, with the fury of Grumsh One-Eye. He accepts the honor challenge of Dulvadruk and will swing. Does the advantage go to his own attack? Each creature of the war chief's choice within 30 feet of it that it can see. Well, it meets all those qualifications. I'd say its own war cry emboldens it. Makes sense to me. Here we go, swings. This is the bonus action single attack. Oh no, did not roll well. Dulvadruk with his greatsword turns aside the axe blade of the orc, and he will reply with a strike of his own. And the Hobgoblin Captain's leadership reads as well, like he could apply the 1d4 on his own attack. So let's do that. Going to do a multi-attack for 2 hits against the war chief. There is 1 hit, and the second long blade stroke. Oh, it's a natural 1. Here we go with 5d6 plus 2 damage. Only has a plus 2 to a strength score. 12 damage to Goizem Hagshead. All right, Goizem is at half hit points now. Some noticeable wounds showing up, and a couple of hobgoblins taking their turns now. Hobgoblins 6 and 5, the 2 archers. Well, things are getting a bit desperate, so maybe I dare say they will quit their longbows, draw their longswords. 2-handed does a little bit more damage, and actually come in here to do some melee fighting. Well, let's go for that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do both of them quickly in a row here. All right, we've got 1 hit and 1 miss. All right, that's a total of 10 damage to Goizem. He still is at 34. We've got 3 orcs in a row here now, 2, 1, and 5, and they're going to have advantage on their attack rolls. 2 swings with his great axe. brings it down. Just a glancing blow only does 4 damage to Hobgoblin 1. His ally will gang up and attack as well. Oof, there is a critical hit. Well, this is going to be brutal. 2d12 plus 3, rolls high, 21 damage, just completely decapitates the Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin 1 is slain before it even got back to his next turn, and Orc 5 will step to there and swing at Hobgoblin 6. 19 is going to be a hit. Oh my. And d12s are so chancy. Oh, it's 12 damage. Another Hobgoblin is taken down. Things are not boding well for the Goblinoids. We really only have the leader, Dolvadruk, and then 2 other basic Hobgoblins standing. All right, Hobgoblin 4 is going to attack against the Orcish leader. Here it comes, longsword. Oh, just cannot find the purchase. All right, I've gone ahead and cleared a few of the dead bodies to the side just for cleanup's sake. Orc 3 is now going to rush and swing upon Hobgoblin number 4. Great fury of Grumsh the Mighty, Grumsh One Eye. No, there is a block off of the Hobgoblin's shield, and Orc number 4 will proceed to there and make the attack with advantage. As well, will score a hit. Let's see what this d12 does. Max damage. Cleaves right through another of the Hobgoblins. Just buries the axe right into the thing's torso. And these Hobgoblins are dropping like flies. Round 3, we begin with the Orc War Chief. So this ends the battle cries effects. War Chief will attack 2 attacks from the multi-attack, the Hobgoblin's captain. There's 1 hit and 1 miss. Great Axe does a total of, 11 damage to the captain of the Hobgoblins. He grits right through it, stares down the Orcish War Chief, and will make 2 attacks of his own. We are looking at, only a 10 on the second one, but the first one's a 25, so we got 1 hit. The 5d6 plus 2, the roll is not spectacular, but not the worst ever. 17 damage, which actually brings Goizum's total down to 17. And we're on to Orc 2. There's just the Hobgoblin captain and 1 basic Hobgoblin left. Orc 2 will step there and attack the basic Hobgoblin. Regular attack from the Orc. 12, 7, yep, that is going to do it. And those great axes can do so much. 10 hit points. That reduces the Hobgoblin to 1 single hit point. The thing grunts, tries not to let on that it is at the very threshold of death, at the gates of death right there. Orc 1 is going to try to finish off that work. Will reposition over to there and attack, swinging his great axe with great ferocity. Repelled by the shield of the Hobgoblin onto Orc number 5. Let's see, he's going to get around over like such. They're just swarming over this Hobgoblin, trying to take down the final of the basic soldiers. Also cannot make it through the defenses of the Hobgoblin, who will keep on attacking the leader of the Orcs. Swings his longsword. That is going to be a hit. D8 plus 1 for the longsword, 2d6 for the martial advantage. Ooh, 15! Goizum is at 2, a mere sliver of life. He is bleeding. He's got wide, bloodshot eyes, ragged breath, a mere glimmer of hope for the Hobgoblins. Orc 3 is going to try to finish off this final Hobgoblin. Nat 7 is going to do it. Orc number 4, let's see if he can pull it off. And that is going to be enough. He'll get on over to there and cleave down, chopping right through the spine of the Hobgoblin. He died bravely. Dolvadruk points the tip of his mighty sword toward Goizum. Telling him, you might have slain some of my pawns, but blood vengeance will be mine now. I will claim your head. Comes the first greatsword attack. There's going to be a 17. That's exactly what he needs. Don't even need to roll the dice. He spoke truly, and his blade slices the head from Goizum Hag's head's shoulders. The mighty war chief is felled. He now angles his blade towards Orc 4, let's say, right up there. Ooh, only a 9 total. That's not going to be enough. He was really hoping to take that Orc down. If he wants to stand a chance, he needs to just hit with every single thing that he has. All right, so we're going to have Orc 2, 1, 5, 3, and 4. I'm just going to roll them in that order. 5 attacks. All right, Dolvadruk, see what you can block. Oh, I see a crit in there. Oh my. All right, so we've got, whoa, there are 2 critical hits and a regular hit in there, and then 2 misses. This might take out Dolvadruk right here. Yeah, that's 5d12 plus 9. I think he's going down. Here we go. Oof. Oh, that's so much damage. 43. The Orcs just chop him, just butcher him into pieces. They're filled with great fury and anguish and rancor that their war chief has been slain, but they are victorious this day, and they shall be feasting upon hobgoblin flesh tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'd like to do orcs and hobgoblins again, try some different arrangements, some different types of orcs and hobgoblins, some different variants in there. I think there's a lot that could be done with this. Same thing with the goblins and kobolds. I'd like to do either a rematch or just like a new fight with a different arrangement of those. I want to say an extra special thank you to everyone who supports me over on Patreon. That is Esper the Bard on patreon.com. For everyone who's watching, go check that out. There is free stuff every month. There is paid content every month that's exclusive for patrons. There's a whole bunch of cool things on there to enhance your D&D games or your RPG games of choice. But again, a special thank you to everyone who supports me on there. You guys really help make this channel everything that it is. This is Esper, everyone. Wishing you all the best, and as always, may your adventures be many.